to a lot of you. Sorry, man.
She want that old thing back. Turn me up some headphones. Turn me up. Yeah. I share. Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the earths, I share. Peace king. Peace to the kings, I share. Peace queen. Peace to the queens, I share. Yeah, it's peace king when you see me in the street. Proper greeting, to not acknowledge a light being. It's not the season, no ego. Clearly the leader of the people. Vision like Calico. This for my amigos. Leaning on that window of that Rego. I'm praying that one day he gonna be free though. They ran up in the crib while he's peeking through the peephole. Never thought it would be divine evil. Creeping with that heat close. They say I walk around like I got an S on my chest. Now that's a gold-plated no baguettes on my chest. Life a movie. Words got special effects. An old school G used to bump Rex and effects. And the Fugees, youngins, know that I'm next. I pump knowledge to the streets so they showing respect. Cause I did it without the fraudulent stories about me blowing a tech. I let the Most High order my steps. Feel me? You gotta know what time it is, man. It's the age of Aquarius. Each one teach one. That's what it is. I share. Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the earths, I share. Peace king. Peace to the kings, I share. Peace queen. Peace to the queens, I share. The quarterback need protection from the lineman for the yards. More makers in alignment with the stars. Too many MCs lying in your bars. And you wonder why they ain't buying your records. Like, keep violent cause he won't keep silent about police violence. Keeping both he's firing for the Pope weak and dying. No need for sirens. Third eye eyelids open and vibrant. Jamal Milton shining. Hard to watch a young king get killed and he died over cigarettes. Shit. Steady talking about you real, you ain't let your gat pale for that nigga yet. Shit. And even if we chop the bag off, you probably front like, nah, I need a bigger check. But I just seen you on the internet talking about you been a threat. We sick of that.
Okay, I was talking for a minute. I don't even know what the hell. Uh, They kicked me out my screen. I don't even know when I stopped. But anyway, I was talking about rich white folks and rich black folks and Jeff Bezos being worth 200 million and Quavo. Particularly, I don't know who this guy is, but he has a lot of platinum. He has platinum teeth. He has platinum teeth. As I'm looking at his picture right now, an ass load of tattoos, and I don't know. His teeth look like they run about six or $700,000. Diamonds in them. I don't know how you can eat food with that, but okay. And a ring and earrings and glasses and necklaces and chains and stuff like that. And you can tell that he's a rapper and he's rich. He has money. He's able to buy things with ridiculously stupid things to look good, right? And you gotta look good in front of other niggas. Nigga Fuller talked about you buy all these things to look good in front of black people. That's what you're doing. You're not going to the Chinese area. You're not going to the Jewish section of New York City. You're not going to Spanish Harlem. You're not going to any of the ethnic groups areas to show how good you look with your car and your money, your expensive clothing. And this is not hating. This is just the thought process of our people. Now, Bezos, like I was saying, I think while I was not on live, they kicked me out the stream. Um, Bezos looked like a supervisor from a marketing firm or something like that. Maybe an agent of sorts, not necessarily the richest man on the planet. You know, how do you look like the richest man on the planet, right? First, you're white. You'll be white. You know what I mean? Unless you're from a foreign nation, and then you have all the garments of clothing and material of your said nation, and you have a bunch of people around you. So so on and so forth. You say, hey, this is the prince of such and such, or the president of such and such, and they can say, okay, you certainly look like that because I don't know what a foreigner look like, a foreign president looks like, but if I had to guess, it would be you. But in most instances, it's some white man who's pretty casually dressed and he's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. I'm sorry. While a lot of people look like fools and feel that success and freedom comes from buying trinkets and fronting on other black people. And then they have the eventual story of them getting robbed because they feel they have the love of black people, but they don't. They have the hate of black people whom are poor and destitute and know that they can get something for their family or something for themselves if they take your chain. Now, they're not interested in getting as Jeff Bezos because they'll never see Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos does not walk around the commoners, but front ass niggas do. Front ass niggas go around the commoners and the projects and stuff. Let everybody know they're coming. So the hit squad can roll up on them and rob them. Ask Tupac. Oh, you can't ask Tupac because he's dead. Black History Month, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we start off Black History Month. And you know, there's a back and forth about should we have Black History Month? And people will say, you know, you can relegate our history to a month. Absolutely, that's absolutely correct. And anyway, that is white regulated Black History Month. It's a bunch of Negroes that you've never heard before who made contributions to our sojourn in America, our survival in America. Understand we've been surviving in America, but they don't go into specifics. Like these are the great things that our scientists have created, our vendors have created, or job positions that black people have gotten. The first black supermarket supervisor, the first black person to pull teeth, the first black person to pull a brain out of somebody's head. They don't go to that they made 90% less than their white counterparts. If there was no money left over to give to their offspring, George Washington Carver was castrated. He's only known for peanut butter when he made much, much more. Whites were exploiting him, literally and figuratively, for all the great ideas he got. And in the minds of our people, he was so happy to give to them that he gave just a little bit to, I think, the Tuskegee Institute and working there. But if you look back, if you look at the college now, is it what it should be? And we all have to say no because we know the status of our HBCUs. And, the only way we can really truly know is to go there ourselves and work on the campus and see what the thought process is politically about people that's going to the school. But if it was of a revolutionary standard, I think that we would know about it because they would rally the troops. It's very hard for blacks who are doing righteous things and for the betterment of our people to keep silent. There are those who are working behind the scenes. I don't disagree with that tactic. I am not one to demonstrate that tactic. We're loud and boisterous. We're out front. And when you do that, you risk your life doing it. So, um, what can we get from Black History Month? Well, it depends on what it is that you are doing specifically, what the collective is doing. Are they trying to take it back? We have Black August, that's more radical and revolutionary. But the whites do what is politically necessary to maintain subjugation to the African diaspora. So if they need to embrace Black August and conservativize it in time, they will. And ultimately, you have Black holidays that's going to be celebrated on the grassroots level, but they follow our algorithms. They have stool pigeons, which I'll deal with in this movie, that will give them said information and they will utilize it for their best interests. We talked about the divisive so-called organizations or sects, but there's some realizations to it because it's part of the tactics that they are using now. They will now take a black person that we've talked about, we know the mayor, whom is Nigerian, and that is why he was able to be mayor, because he was a Nigerian coon. And they got him from Africa and his black ass face to say, we're going to abolish Black History Month. And not in the essence that we would come from. That we would say if you eliminate Black History Month, because you cannot squeeze our history into a month. That's very disingenuous and disrespectful. It's a backhanded slap in the face. He's not coming from that. He's coming from a white supremacist perspective to gain notoriety and affection from whites because he's African. And Nigeria is, unfortunately, full of. Not to say that you're not going to have any revolutionary Africans on the continent, obviously, in certain nations, but they don't allow them to come over here. We get their coon brothers and sisters. And so then we have to deal with it. You see, so that's part of the strategy of the cracker now. Oh, you got this militant Nat Turner holiday thing where you guys go and train and teach the youth how to shoot and do reenactments of the Nat Turner slaughter and so-called allies who claim them to be allies. Okay, you want to be an ally? Well, we're doing this reenactment. You know how you crackers do reenactments of the First World War and Civil War and all that other bullshit. Well, we're doing a reenactment of Nat Turner's rebellion. And we need some white extras. And can y'all hear me? Back into my symbolism. Yeah. Oh yeah, you hear me now? We're doing this reenactment of Nat Turner Rebellion, and we need you all to be the white people that we slaughter. If you, you want to be allies, yeah, come on out, and all you got to do is pretty much stay still and let us hack you up. Fictitiously, though. This is this documentary, this is film, this is reenactment. You're not actually going to die. We're just going to do this every year at this particular time during the Nat Turner Rebellion. Little things like that. See if they show up on time, No, we don't have those types of things in Black History Month. We don't have the red-blooded people who said enough is enough and we're going to burn down this plantation. I want to start a rebellion by hook or by crook. I'm going to create our army because there's no making these people righteous. There's no saving their souls. They don't have souls. So we're no longer going to pray to a God that looks like them to change them in his infinite wisdom, his divine creativity. No, we are not going to wait any longer We're going to use our axe and our sword and anything else that we can create to slaughter you. And we'll die doing it. It will come back, as Marcus Garvey said. Look for me in the wind. I'm not dead. Look for me in the wind. We'll be back. We'll get you like them little, y'all remember Tales from the Hood, the little nigglets. See, when you watch a movie like that, it's propaganda, right? You have to watch the movie in favor of the lost African slaves that were slaughtered by the slave master who didn't want them to be free. And we know that to be true, that it happened in certain plantations where he got word and slaughtered the slaves, our brothers and sisters. And so you have a beautiful movie where the souls are maneuvered using our dark magic and putting the souls into to little toys and puppets, you know. Wouldn't it be great to have those, right? So anytime a cracker kill one of us, we just send the little toys out and they eat his ass up alive and they see a trend. Can't trace it back to nobody. You gotta get the little toys. We don't know what you're talking about, man. Ain't none of us did nothing. Huh? Wouldn't that be great? So at the end, all 200 of them just ripped them apart. So you gotta watch that movie. That's why I like Tales from the Hood. You gotta watch that movie and you see they'll show it evil, but it's not evil. It's justice. It's revenge. The activist who was murdered and framed and killed because he attacked racist, fascist police officers who were dumping brothers in prisons and rivers and the like. They dumped him into the river, and he came back and ripped off heads and ripped off hearts. You like to have him done it while he was alive. You know what I'm saying? When does Black History Month become radical? Who's going to make that distinction? Who's going to say, "Hey, we're putting on Black History Month stuff, but we're going to have bags here just in case you need to vomit because this thing is going to hit you in the intestines, right? You may have to use the toilet. You may you may have to use the toilet. All right, we just want to warn you about that." So now I want to transition to my subject matter: Judas and the Black Messiah. The religious references of Judas, the right-hand man, the so-called Jesus Christ, and why Jesus, the Black Revolutionary Messiah, was going through the land, stirring up the masses, wanting to take power from Caesar. They worked on the inside. This is how you get a leader, a figurehead, where the movement is basically tied into this one individual. And if this one individual is killed, cut the head off the snake dies, then we can put in new leadership that is FBI. And so we will control the leadership. And then we'll have them act in ways that are counter-revolutionary. And the movement dies. Because Chairman Fred Hampton was the real Jesus. He was the Messiah. I almost convinced who would study some deep African history and knew that there was a one that always came. And he kept his eyes on the one. If any one shows itself, we must destroy that one. Then he got creative with all his agents. He said, what we're going to do is I want to give you free reign to take the information that you're getting and create something, anything. Maybe we create the Messiah. We go to the drug cartels and tell them, hey, we need to prevent the Messiah. And we're going to come in many different ways. Where they live at, the food that they eat. We're going to flood them with drugs. You can't have a Messiah if you're sucking on a glass dick. You too worried about that glass dick. Anybody know any gay messiahs? Anybody know any black messiahs that suck a glass dick? They're ignorant. They don't exist. I tell you what, real in the field, I felt the same way about the black American man. I felt there were some brothers who probably looked like Chairman Fred Hampton and would do justice to the role. But I'm telling you, I'm not no hater. And to be fair, because I do believe in what you just said, we got fucked up by Cynthia Erivo. And she's going to fuck up Aretha Franklin purposely because she fucked up Harriet Tubman. So the presumption is that Daniel Kaluuya would do the same thing. I'm here to tell you he did not. And I studied Fred Hampton. I have his son's number. I've interviewed his son. I watched all his interviews. His son was intimately involved in this production. I know because things in the movie he had said in interviews. So he was really hands-on. And it's been known that people would try to make documentaries and stuff on his father. And if they were close enough, he would run up on them. He's been known for doing that. So if you were going to do this project, you would have to show him some black faces. And you would have to give him a lot of autonomy. And it was almost like Kaluuya hung out with Chairman Fred Jr. for a period of time and he went to Fred Hampton School. This motherfucker nailed it. I'm just keeping real. That's up to organizing, grassroots organizing. That's my alley. And one of the first people I studied when I entering my consciousness was Chairman Fred Hampton interviews. And this motherfucker here, like he said in the movie, could sell salt to the slug. I'm telling you, the party got so big because you couldn't. If he had 10 minutes with you, you were politicized. Didn't matter who you was. He can pull you in. And he did it. I was waiting for the next scene. Give me the next scene. I ain't feel this way since Malcolm X, where every time, he's like, damn, Denzel's killing it. Give me another scene of him being Malcolm. Give me some more. I'm sitting here watching this shit like, damn, this motherfucker he's shit. He's on it, man. I can't hate on him. He's on it. I'm sure there's a brother out there who knows Chairman Fred looked like him and everything could probably did better. But Daniel Kaluuya, he did it. Had me tearing up in this motherfucker. I'm in the house, damn near tearing up. I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker's nailing it. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, watch the movie. And this is gonna be a spoiler. I'm letting you know. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, this is gonna be a spoiler. Do watch it. I'm telling you, watch it. Because like I said, his son was intimately involved. We know that people make documentaries and movies without the acknowledgement of the family, or the families are coons. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. is not anybody's coon. You see, so usually he had been whitelisted from all media. They didn't want him on nobody's media doing anything. He had done an interview with Zach TV. Y'all remember the young man from Chicago with a very large platform, and not long after, he was murdered in the streets. The day after he did the interview, they ransacked his apartment and took his equipment, destroyed it for evidence. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. is not a man you fuck with when it comes to society, the dominant society, and where they have placed him. So they literally put this man's father in the movie, and then they had him in at the end of it. They had him very intimately involved. And he said previous years they would try to have these movies and do some bullshit, and he stomp on it. Nah, you ain't doing that. That's not happening. His purpose in life is preserving his father's memory and making sure the narrative is done properly. And so I follow that man. And somehow they drew the spirit of his father and put it in that brother. He was a brother that day. And you hope that when people play roles like this, like they did, you remember when Michael B. Jordan played Killmonger, he said he had to flush out the revolutionary in him. They didn't use that term, but he was like, man, I went to a dark place. I had to go away for 5 months and get my mind right. Meaning he saw the bullshit. Meaning he became the character because he was studying Malcolm X and Tupac and all that. And he went there and he saw it. So he recoonified himself. And we hope that when brothers play roles like this, they get so deep that you get lost in it. That Denzel has an innate ability to remove himself from the character. So he plays Malcolm X and then goes back to being cool, which is unfortunate. But this brother, you hope that it goes the other way. But damn, this movie was shit. This movie was the shit. I'm sorry, it was the shit. I mean, it was the shit. Because in this movie, they killed crackers. Crackers died in this movie, man. That's what I like. Crackers died in this movie. You know brothers is going to die. But it's not like American Skin. When you do the body count of American Skin, it's 2-0. Two brothers died, a father and a son. No crackers. No crackers. They ain't even get punched in the face. Not like that in this movie. Man, shout out to Ryan Coogler, man. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. When you can put up information and content that we can say, okay, it's not going to be hundreds of nothing because it's coming from the dominant society, but there are things that we can point at and we can say, okay, ain't no moisture in this motherfucker. All the brothers is badass. You got the one coon. You got William O'Neill. And this is what I said about him and I said about um, um, yeah. DV Douglas, that's your opinion, brother. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. What was I saying? Damn it, I forgot what the hell I was saying. Yeah, I hate when that happens. When you're doing a movie and you want to get the proper depiction of African life, you want some type of balance. William O'Neill, the agent, when interviewed to be flipped into being a Panther, they asked him about Malcolm X and they asked him about Dr. King. How did you feel during these instances? And this is what they do because this is what has been said by other FBI informants. They ask them about the movement and what they think about it. And because we know this niggas got their head in clouds in the ground and they're just out of there, they have no thinking on the matter. They don't think about it, they don't know nothing about it. And so then they go into flipping. And just like Gene Roberts and Darth R. Perry, William O'Neill said, I don't think about that stuff. You're perfect. Cool. You're gonna join the Panther Party. And you're gonna get next to this man, Fred Hampton, and give us information. And that's what he did. And he enjoyed doing it. See, understand people, Gene Roberts gave an interview at Malcolm X's gravesite. At Malcolm X's gravesite. And said if he had to do it again, he would do it again. Gene Roberts was the one that was breathing life or death into Malcolm while he had open gun wounds and he was trying to give him mouth resuscitation. He was the man that put the shooters in the front row before Malcolm's speech and scurried out of there like a little rat once the shooting started. Then came back like he had done something. Gene Roberts told people that he had took a chair and one of the shooters, the one that got caught, he hit him in the leg with the chair, just to throw anything at him. Gene Roberts had a gun. He didn't pull his gun and he didn't use his gun. He never grabbed a chair, he never threw it at anybody. That was a goddamn lie. It never happened. He got promoted. He did the same thing to the Panthers. And he only got outed when he had to sit on the stand on the Panther 21 case. And he revealed himself to be an agent. And up until they did the documentary, I think early in the early 90s, he said he would do it again because it was just a job. It was just a job. That's true. That's true. That's true, Sister Monique. And so you go back to William O'Neill in Chicago, and Sister Monique Hill put it perfectly about the goings on in Chicago, the decadence in Chicago, the universities that bleed out these blood-sucking politicians, Barack Obama and Chance the Rapper as well. There's an infrastructure set up there, entertainers to boot as well, politics, Rahm Emanuel, and his mayoral candidacy, and what he was connected to. Blackgate, his brother was connected to the Blackgate ops overseas, and that these were mercenaries. And you had all these killings in Chicago. When you say, oh, Chicago, they're going crazy. Never in the history of niggerdom have you heard that many shootings. 150, 200. Ain't nobody that mad. Ain't nobody that mad. We got shootings here. You get 1, 2, you get 4, 5. But you look at the conditions of the community, you should have 160 like they are showing, but you don't because our people are not like that. But if I had access to a military group of mercenaries who innately hate niggas anyway and are on contract to come into the city and execute black people indiscriminately and always have the media be on their side and blame the black community and other Negroes who are not intimately involved in Chicago, who don't reach out to people in Chicago, don't ask questions, just say, hey, niggas is bugging out there. Don't do any research. Nothing. Then you got Beetlejuice, who's the mayor now. I say, oh, you want a black face? You want a person of color in the mayorship? Huh? Oh, we'll give you one. Presenting Beetlejuice, the ugliest woman alive. Who, guess what? Only cares about LGBT rights. That's your new mayor. Get it back. Give her another one. Give her another one in there in the room. So this is the city that breeds the Black Panther Party. Now let's deal with the movie a little bit more closely. Now, the Black Panther Party is propagated to be like an army. Somewhat it is, but mostly it's about serving the people. And they covered that briefly in the movie. You got to remember, medical centers that we need to service our people because our people are sick. We're going into hospitals and not coming out. Ambulances. The ambulances cost $1 million and $1 trillion. They don't come to the black communities when you're hurt or harmed. You got to say your name is Stacy or Jessica and that you're white. If you say you're black, if your name is Kershawn or Quincy or Quanez, they're going to let you bleed out and die. They're going to let you bleed out and die. There's stories, look them up. There's stories about that going on in Chicago all day long. Brother gets shot and they call it in and ain't nobody coming. How long do you think that's been happening? Chairman Fred Evans said, ambulances. We need ambulances. We need, mention the medical center. Free breakfast program. That's how he started. We have a free breakfast program. We're trying to free every hungry child in Chicago. Now, Chicago always been riddled with gangs. White, then black. And Chairman Fred Hampton was known for collating with other groups within the city. One proletariat revolution. All subjugated entities. Finding those common denominators against the state. Because real talk, crackers beat the hell out of other crackers too. And so he would find that angle. You getting overtaxed. You white and poor. You getting overtaxed. And you getting beat up by white folks. Your own brethren. You looking at them, hey, well, you white and I'm white, and they beat the shit out of you. Just like they beat the shit out of us. This system of injustice that we're in needs to be uprooted and thrown away. And we need to get together to do this. And this is his template. This is his push. This is the mantra of the original Black Panther Party. This is why they went back and forth with the new Black Panther Party under the leadership of Khalid Muhammad, because Khalid Muhammad made it a more nationalistic group. We're going to deal with black nationalism. We're not going to disrespect the movements of the past. We respect their works. We're using that as a trampoline. And Bobby Seale, cornbread, eating pork, eating white woman loving ass, denounced them the entire time that he was part of the Black Panther Party. Because they nationalized. They reinvigorated the revolutionary fire. Bobby Seale is now, he's 175 years old, whatever he was at that particular time. Old. When you're old, Negro, you're dangerous. You gotta watch these old niggas. When they get old, all that revolutionary fire is gone. They get honorariums talking about the old Black Panther Party. We fucking up with our honorariums. If you're wearing our number or wearing our name and using the Panther, they're associating you with me. So I go to Harvard and stuff and talk about what we used to do back in the day. I can't get none of these 35, 40-year-old white women to come to my bedroom after I get my honorarium check. God damn it, Colin. I did all that revolutionary shit. I'm done with it. I want some white women. Where is the white women at? Chairman Fred wasn't about none of that. Wasn't about none of it. Share, brothers and sisters. Let me go on real quick to my economic spiel, real quick. It's Mr. X, host the sports show X Sports Revolutionaries. And every now and then I'll go off beat and do something with regard to a movie review or something else that's on my heart and mind, but usually we deal with sports. To support the show and my budding family, you see the Cash App there, Cash App, cash sign, dollar sign, and the Mr. XR for support. Then any donations that you have at this time, I know it's a very trying time economically in America, but revolutions cost. And one thing that the Black Panther Party got during that time was donations from all walks of life: entertainers, actors, sporting heads, politicians, whatever, because they've seen the merit of what the Panther Party was actually doing across the United States, and that they were getting eliminated systemically, haven't done nothing wrong. They're just patrolling their community and protecting their community. And white dominance denotates that the slave remain a slave and never draw up arms against his master. And so they went in with more guns, because they got more guns than we do, because we get the guns from them. And they slaughtered our people, but not without losses on their side. We're not going to take punches and not fight back. But all these things, again, cost, because they try to do so many things for free and have so many connections. Too often they got knocked by FBI informants for getting guns, quote unquote, from somewhere, and having the whole entire police department come down on their ass. So we want to do things legally. And with that, you need finance, so that we can cross our T's and dot our I's and educate our people in all facets of human endeavor, including self-defense. Now with me, like I said, I have a budding family, a growing family, and there's a lot of things that I would like to do, but resources need to be garnered. So again, if you have it in your heart to donate to the show, please do. The Cash App sign is there. So back to the movie. So we get to Chairman Fred, right? And he's in Chicago and he's handing out forms. I love that, and I love that type of shit. I'm sorry, I love that. I love interacting with people. I love it. I love it. I love it. Handing them forms and telling them what it's about, and I give them a little tidbit because they on the move. They ready to go. I give them a little taste real quick. If they want to continue the conversation, I keep going. So you got some contact information, man. I have the line. My line is open. You can talk, we can rap, whatever. So he's talking about feeding the children. Now, this is the coalition part. I love Chairman Fred Hampton because we see the same thing. When you hit consciousness and you're an organizer and the mode of revolutionary organizing, that's what you see. You see black men anywhere. I look at a basketball game, that's an army. I look at a football game, that's an army. I go in a prison, that's an army. I go to a local basketball court. I go to a school. Anywhere, I just see an army of our people right there. And all they need is the word. That's all they need. And so all throughout the movie, he in prison, he in Menard. And his son talks about Menard and how horrible it is. He like, man, all I see is a proletarian revolution. I just see these brothers all beat up and scarred, and we know who the enemy is. We know who the enemy is. And all you have to do is point. And I talked about in previous shows about him flipping would-be assassins, politicizing them, people who made their bones, because you know that lifers make money that they send home to their families, killing people. They do hits in prison. And the man was so magnificent, he stopped them for killing them and said, hey, man, we in security now. And if anything happened to Chairman Fred Hampton, we holding you all responsible. Take that how you want to take it. That's some incredible shit right there. And the man was able to embody that and made you believe like if he talked to anybody, he can flip them. You know what I mean? Like this was I couldn't wait for the next line to come out. What was he going to say in response? Was he strong enough to flip O'Neal? Ultimately, he wasn't, because the establishment has a profile on O'Neal and O'Neals of the like, stealing cars, just a nigga doing dumb shit. We put you in the fedora hat and the leather jacket, and you act like a panther, and you give me information, and I give you money, and you wear nice clothes, and you eat steaks, and you get to sit around with white folks. That's what you ultimately want to do. He said that he was a role model, a father figure. They look through your profile, see what you're missing. If they take the father out the home, the FBI agent can be white daddy. You grew up watching Superman. You grew up watching Thor. You grew up watching Captain America, Tom Brady. You watch these great quote unquote white men all your life. And now there's a progressive movement in the community serving the needs of the people. That's all they're doing. Taking care of our women, feeding the children, making the men men. They say, oh no, this is a hate group. They like the KKK. So these niggas don't play. If you a snitch, we'll put you in the bottom of the river. I mean, the things that the devil was doing to destroy these movements, I tell you, it's not always just killing. It's as simple as saying, hey, the meeting is at 7:30 at this address. We've all agreed about that. Flyers go out, they fuck up the address and they fuck up the time. So you may have 25 people, committed people, waiting and ready for some real action. You join a group that's gonna take it to the man. And they show up at the spot and no one's there. Like, oh, these niggas ain't serious, man. I was ready. I took off work. I got cussed out by my wife. I gave her this long speech about how we need to join the movement and be in the struggle. And she talked about these kids we got. And I said, no, we're trying to make the world better for our kids. And I felt strong and I won the argument. And I come down here to be a part of the group. And my black ass got to go back home and tell her these niggas is bullshit. Just little stuff like that. Little stuff like that. Go into a room. The offices is ransacked. We got a snitch in here. This is said by the snitch. There's a snitch in here. And maybe it's you. And he points to the most committed member of the fucking party that would give his life, then got scuffles with white folks or cops, took pot shots at cops, saved some of the brothers from getting killed, and he points at him and says he's the snitch. Now everybody looking at him. Now you created dissent. You created the atmosphere, the thought process. Now people watching their words around him. Now people ain't returning his phone calls. Now everything that he's doing is scrutinized. Little stuff like that is what your agent would do. Just start random fights. There was this movie, I Think I Love My Wife, Chris Rock. And he was with what's that sister from the movies where she's screwing the president. That helped me up with that. I forget what it's called exactly, but she wanted him to go out and party with her. And he's like, I'm married. I can't get out the house. I don't never leave the house. And she was like, well, start a fight. And so he goes home and his wife is cooking chicken and he loses it. God damn, you always cooking chicken. I'm out of my finger looking by. I'm tired of chicken. Can we have some duck? Can we have some turtle? Something. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? You always eat chicken on Tuesdays. Why are you tripping like this? I'm tired of chicken. I'm tired of you and I'm tired of chicken. Get this chicken bullshit out of my face. And then he leaves and goes to the party and her black ass don't even show. So he set up this whole damn facade, fake fight that she don't know it's a fake fight. He ain't mad at all. He goes out, hangs out, try to get with the sister, and she ain't even there. She with some other man. And that's an example of what these devils would do. Sending FBI agents into our organization. This man was amazing, y'all. I mean, this man should be celebrated for his accomplishments. And he didn't live to only to be 21 years old. And you look at Lakeith Stanfield, because the movie is really about William O'Neill. They said this when they first released the movie. They said that the focus would be on O'Neill and his relationship with the United States government and him taking down the Panther Party. And they took, the interview that he had and Eyes on the Prize. You can look that up, William O'Neill Foreman. And there's a segment with him and dealing with the Panther Party. And he had reportedly died, committed suicide in 1990 as the pig that he was. But one of the things that they tried on Hampton was to get an id. What does he like? What does he want? Does he like women? Does he like weed? Does he like coke? Huh? What does he want? Find out what he wants. Does he want to attack the Capitol? He wants to take guns and kill police. He said, no, no, no. We are not with reactionary politics. The politics was serving the people. So you see the great speeches, but the tangible things that he set up. The breakfast program, which leads to the school. We get on certain brothers and sisters for trying to create liberation schools and educational institutions for our youth, our young multiples. But it's necessary. That's how you prevent coons. They have to be politicized at a very young age. You all remember, for those who listen to that show, my young daughter coming to the mic. I said, "What did that want? What don't Daddy like?" She said, "No white people." Now there'd be millions of people. If I made a video of that, would be appalled. It would go viral. If I wanted to go viral with my daughter, I probably could. Oh, it'd be hundreds of millions of views. How dare he teach his daughter those things? Who's the parent? Who's the parents? That's right here, directed all right here. That's me. That's me. Faggot motherfuckers reach out to my wife too and try to no. Bring it here. Come on, CNN. Come on, Fox. Interview me. I'll give y'all that motherfucking work. I love free publicity. I'll let you motherfuckers have it. I've really been I've been thinking about that shit. I can make that shit go viral again. I'll let these devils have it for Black history. If you want some Black history, I'll give you some motherfucking Black history. No devils allowed. Because that's what it's got to be taught. Because in other ethnic groups, that's what's taught. Jews teach it. East Indians teach it. Hell, Jamaicans and Haitians teach it. We are there with niggas. Those are black Americans and niggas. You gotta stay away from there. God, you gotta stay away from them. Find your own. They just as black as my ass. But we can't teach that. Shit, not in my house. You black in my house, you're gonna be a revolutionary. And they have the famous scene where he's screaming through, I am a revolutionary. And throughout the movie, the term was being said. It's gotten lost. The Negroes have taken it. I'm seeing black femi. I'm seeing all these different damn terms. Black femi and subjugated and intersectionality and inclusionary. And they just go through the dictionary each day, these devils give to niggas and they say this now. Go on your social media page and say this term here. Subsect after subsect after subsect after subsect. God damn, this shit is confusing, which is the point. Get up in everybody's ass, yell at everybody, screaming at everybody. Feminist groups, god damn. What none of that. You gotta get high off the people. Like I said, there's some spoilers towards the end. There's no secret what happened to him. And you know, the walls are closing in on him. You know what I'm saying? They were like, Chairman, you can go to Algiers. That's where Brother Eldridge Cleaver is. You can go to this nation, you can go to that nation. Take your sister with you. Take your family, the group, the Crowns, a large black gang that numbered around 4,000 or 5,000 in Chicago. He politicized them, made them an army. That's what he saw. Because the niggas were giving guns so that they can shoot other niggas. And so they would go into their territory and hand out flyers. And one of the brothers pointed a gun at Chairman Fred and he said, we're not here for none of that. And tell the big guy I want a meeting with him. I just want to feed kids. Let's start there. Because he's smart. He may go into the political rhetoric and say, I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. So, all right, well, let's do this. You got a soul in your heart. What about your children? And I know you're making money, right? So let's feed all the children. Let us do that. Help us with that. That's all we want to do. We start there. And bit by bit, as things was happening, you can't help but to see the bullshit. Now, how many guns that you got, they got more guns. And you realize that they gave you the guns so that you could shoot yourselves, not shoot them. They're not going to give you guns to kill them. That don't make no fucking sense. That makes no sense at all. So there's a scene that every nigga on the group got a gun. Every nigga. 200-300 dudes and guns everywhere. It's like, god damn, you can take over the city right now. Fuck it. Just leave. Don't use the phone. Don't use this to meet. Don't do nothing. Just go and do it. The moment you start planning, they intercept every goddamn thing. Just go and do it. But they having a meeting with the Panthers, and ain't but 6 Panthers in there. They got all these guns for 6 black dudes. Just ass backwards. But by the end, he had been flipped. The man was flipping everybody. The young lords was there. They had also, and this is a Hispanic group that, you know, see, the strides that Chairman Fred made, you look at them today. None of those groups would ever do that again. The establishment made sure it would never happen again. They look at each case. Malcolm going to Africa. There ain't no grassroots niggas doing that again. Chairman Fred Hampton gathering all the gangs, being one strong, mighty fist coalition. Nah, we ain't doing that again. King, get the sanitation workers. Nah, we ain't doing that again. Everything that was a sound chess move, sanitation workers. That's one job they let us have. Well, nigga, if the trash is out for a couple days, this fucking town is shut down. I got 8 trash bags a week with my kids. If they said, man, fuck this, everything's shutting down, they take over. So they gotta make sure you ain't into none of that. You ain't into none of that. Because it'll work. I'm seeing more and more bus drivers. Hello? Hello? And this is the thing. We wouldn't do the bus. I mean, you could do the bus boycott and shut it down. But why not everybody get together? Where are my bus drivers? I make pretty good money, right? We want an ambulance for our people. We want housing for our people, the homeless, your elders who can't move, carrying people to take care of them. This stuff needs to be financed. So we don't need you to quit your job. We need you to subsidize this. We need you to come out your pocket. Then you go to the mail workers, do the same thing. Then you go to sanitation workers, do the same thing. And these things are subsidized so that you ain't getting no call about your grandmother getting her ass whooped or laying in feces in a diaper for 4 and 5 days or having a bed sore for a week where you can see the fucking spine because some devils are not flipping her over and not changing her bandages and whatnot. We can get through all the consciousness. We can talk about the 12 dimensions. We can talk about going to this way and go to Mars and Pluto and all that. But we got to deal with the reality of things that's going on right now. That we go up and down this fucking COVID disease. But I'm running into people who have lost people to this fucked up disease. Now you organize. I ran into a little girl who said, I'm going to make a cure for COVID. Me and my mother have already made cures for a couple of diseases. I forget what she mentioned. This little 12-year-old girl I ran into, her and her sister. They lived in the hood. The hood. You hear me? The hood. See, when you are thinking people, you find that black genius and you cultivate it. Y'all found cures to what? Okay, let's set this up. Boom. Here's the lab right here. Young lady, here you go. Adults, here you go around her. Make it happen. Make it happen. Let's test it out. We're going to do it right here. We're not going to go viral yet. We're not going to do like the brother did with the water, the machine and stuff like that. Because they sabotaged to try to blow it up and all that other bullshit. Now we're going to work right here. When we got enough cases here, then we'll make it be known. Because, the FDA and all these crackers going to come down at it. The FDA don't say nothing about this hurricane shit that they put in these cans, this toxic dump waste that they're putting in cans and stores all around the hood. This shit that'll butts your ass if you drink it. It's only in the black communities. These certain cans of alcoholic beverages that you can only find in the black community. That shit is poison. FDA don't say nothing about that. You create a cure for something. Oh, you say cure, nigga? You said cure, right? Shout out to Granddad. Shout out to Granddad's awesome store. Yeah. And you got cure, you got a cure, nigga? Cure? Well, did we validate this cure, huh? Did we look it over? Huh? Did we look it over? Did we look at the ingredients that you use? Where did you get the ingredients? Where did you do it? Now, this ain't no motherfucking cure. You do some shit like this again, you're fined. And we're gonna throw your ass in jail for impersonating the doctor. Fuck is you talking about? You creating cures for black people in the hood. How dare you? The hood is a disease dispenser. That's all it is. No cures come out of there. You slap the shit out of you. Well, that's what Chairman Fred would come in, because he would organize this thing. You can't get away from organizing. And that's what became dangerous, because the cracker ass Hoover knew that. The Messiah is an organizer. Evers was an organizer. King, an organizer. We know the backstory of King, but organization was done. He went a whole nother direction. It's like, oh no, no nigga, you got to die. We done screwed you. You won't let you screw white women. You done did this. We done wrote the fake dissertation. We done. I mean, god damn, nigga, how dare you? How dare you? We even let you in the White House. How dare you? How dare you? You nigga. Like the brother says, white supremacists always break their tools when they're done. Why they ain't break Sharpton and Jesse Jackson? I don't know. But they said we're gonna put them in. You lose Hampton and you get Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Do nothing else. Racism apologists. No justice, no peace. Everybody's been to rallies. But Chairman Fred will go to a rally and politicize. Next thing you know, they'll be in the Panther office. Chairman, what can I do? Walk patrol, 1st and 2nd Street with the brothers. Make sure everybody is cool. Keep your eyes on the pigs. Talk to the brothers and sisters there so they can get to know you. So when something happens, they call the officers as opposed to calling the police. That's doing the work. How do we stop this brother from beating the hell out of his kids and beating the hell out of his lady? We're going to have to deal with this situation. That's the work. Because it's like, brother, man, if we can't do nothing, we can't rectify the situation, then the beast is going to get called. The pig's going to come in here, and you act a fool like that, they're going to kill you and get away with it and go eat a sandwich after they're done. Same thing can happen here with one of the brothers, but we don't want that to happen. We're trying to prevent that. This is the work the man did. The state said no. No, 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 no. Hundreds of brothers, 6 in the morning, freezing cold weather in Chicago, doing push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, getting ready to serve the people. The state took it, then repackaged it, and never gave credit to the Panther Party. I was part of them early breakfast programs and lunch programs. Ooh, the white man feeding me tuna fish. I threw that shit back up. I ate so much of that, never ate tuna fish again. That happened when I was 12. Drink milks, that nasty ass milk. Hey, this is another way we can kill them. Let's make bologna sandwiches with a whole lot of bread. Give it to the niggers. Get the fuck out of here. And I think as the information would have grown, what do you have done? Plant-based foods, vegan foods, things of that nature, creating a real institutional relationship with our African brothers and sisters, utilizing their vegetables, making foods from them, and then rolling up on them on some Fred Hampton shit. Listen here, man, we done, and I said this before. Listen, man, we done last 3 months, we done spent about 15 grand with you. So we need to have a conversation because we obviously the biggest economic endowment in your business, and I'm sure you don't want to lose it. So this is what we require from you. And you get into the specifics of your relationship, a working relationship. You come over here and set businesses up. Well, we want a few of our brothers and sisters in your business. And please don't disrespect them. We will be back. You will start hiring the people that you are serving. Yes. The languages that you learn, you will be teaching our youth those languages. And you will be respectful. We will make garments for them to wear. We want to make the African material, the African patterns, fashionable amongst our youth, taking money away from the fake, faggot ass European fashion designers that dominate the black community. And we will do it respectfully. Then we're going to talk repatriation. What nation are you from? Let's get to the dignitaries. We want a pipeline. Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Chad, wherever, to here. We're going to develop a pipeline. And they looked at Chairman Fred Hampton and seen his development and how fast he was. Then he because he's listening to Malcolm in one scene before he made love to his queen. He was listening to Malcolm X, and eventually gets those. You get those speeches from him going to Africa. And what he did, he said, the independent African nations, who is going to support the Black American here in America? We fight the same fight. What relationships can we have? What can we establish? Imagine Chairman Fred going over after Malcolm. So they guarded against all this stuff. They just looked at what people was doing and said, we're gonna make it so that the next generation, if there is a next generation, can't do this. We're gonna shut all this off. We're gonna eliminate all this. Oh yeah, 108. I feel like I said a whole lot in an hour. I be trying to go 2 hours and all that stuff, but I'm like, nah, I can't do that. But the actual movie is 2 hours, and there's so much information to cover. So I really haven't gotten into scenes because I've dealt with this subject matter before. But you're just dealing with the greatness of Chairman Fred and then the love affair, the beauty of the fact that it wasn't. The thing I love was when he was up there and the look this woman gave. And it was in the initial trailer, and I was going to show it then, like, nah, they striking the hell out of us. Never mind. But as he's up there doing what he do, that the sister is crying, you know what I mean? And you see that in churches, pastors who can hit those nerves, especially in funerals, and saying things that hit a chord. Now people start crying and start boo-hooing. Like it touches your soul, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, I got to give credit to Chairman Fred Edwards Jr., his father, because how he described his father, Daniel Kaluuya played. He played just like he described his father. And just the relationship amongst the Panthers. These are young folks. Remember, these are young folks. Brother went in one store, cops was rousing his older brothers. Looked like they were some cotton pickers. And he walked in there. He said, "Officers, what you doing? Why are you up in this grocery store accosting my community members?" And they was like, "Get the fuck out of here." And so he put his hand behind his back. He said, "Now I ain't going nowhere. You get the fuck out of here. I'm from here. This is my time." And he pulled his piece and he blasted them two motherfuckers. One he killed, one he wounded. He got shot down as well. He lived and made it to the hospital, but there were non-threatening injuries. Well, because we don't got medical centers, like Chairman Fred was talking about, or we don't got hospitals. That's why you had an underground cadre that was created so that when brothers had shootouts with the pigs, they can go there. They can go to a safe house and get cared for. Because you take our brothers to these hospitals, they ain't coming out. How you die from a shoulder injury when he was fine the next day? Or they transferred them to another hospital and they beat him to death. No charges filed. Nothing's going to be done. You're behind enemy lines. And so it was hard for him not to become reactionary because the brothers felt a way and he knew that he was being watched. So if he ever got mad and said, "I'm going to get a gun and I'm going to do just as much," they'd throw him in prison forever. They were trying to put him in prison. Hoover said, "Nah, prisoner made Huey Newton a god and Eldridge Cleaver a celebrity. I don't want prison for Hampton." And so when they went in there and they killed him, they weren't being totally truthful. It looked like mafia members blew in there and killed him. Little sleight of hand. Plus, there was niggas there. It was niggas that assisted in killing him. He was already shot before he had already been. He was already shot before the final bullets took his life. A nigga set him up. A nigga put a roofie in his cup to make him go to sleep. And a nigga helped to shoot him dead. In the pictures, the white man gets all the glory. But niggas was there. Because they always use niggas. That's also how you can stop a movement. Because we'll get that argument. There's always a black person to stop you. I had to be honest. Black people to help you. Of course. Nigga, that's military science. That's easy as pie. I told my wife the other day, I went to Mobil's gas station. I think I told this story on live. I'm not sure. But the Mobile gas station late one night, get some gas. I go in there, and a white lady comes in and says, I'm pregnant. I need to use your bathroom. Now, the guy had been there all day. He was in a sour ass mood. He said, I don't have a bathroom for people who are coming in to patron the establishment. This is for employees only. Or she's like, please, I'm pregnant. I have to use the bathroom so bad. He's like, ma'am, it's not fit for. She's like, I'm gonna call my boyfriend. Lady, I don't care who you call. I mean, I don't have to. The bathroom's not for people who are not working here. And she said, and she started walking. He said, it's back there. And she went back there. She was like, the state says that it's a law that you can't deny a pregnant woman to the bathroom. And he got mad. He's like, you know what, lady? No more bathroom. Get out. I'm tired of you. She closed the door. And so as I was walking out, I said, the nerve of some people. The nerve of some people in her mouth, man. I can't believe that. He said, yeah, you believe that shit? That's crazy. I don't have to give her the bathroom. And I walked out because I egged it on. And I smiled at that. I said, damn, this shit feel good. This is what these motherfuckers do. We have a little fight and they throw gasoline on it. Little skirmish, a little words exchange, and they dump gasoline on it. It becomes all out war. I said, damn, this is where it's at. Why don't we get in between the two of them and get them to fighting one another? Do the shit that they do to us. Yeah. Because that's all they do. The majority of the time, we're at one another's throat. They're right in between. They're right in between. Again, if you want to support Mr. XR, Cash App is there. We greatly appreciate any donations that you have. Also, the Black Hot Fire Network, most certainly, that you are contributing. Please do contribute. The network appreciates your donations. Again, that we live off our people. The people are the lifeblood. And that's how we got to do business. Each dollar's got to go to a black hand 5, 6, 7 times in a row. You get coffee from a black person, you shit, you go to a black person's toilet, and you shit. You go to get some toilet paper and you buy the toilet paper from a black person, you wipe your ass, you know what I mean? And you wash your hands with some soap from a black person. You go out the door and you leave the black establishment because you're not home. And then you brush your teeth with black toothpaste and brush your, and comb your hair with a black, a black comb, so on and so forth. That's what the economic infrastructure looks like. It's all the things that you need, we're buying from our own people. And as long as we're doing that, we'll be economically sufficient. So again, the media aspect and the perspectives that we give are like none other. My show is unique because I'm a unique person. The other people do their shows, they are unique because they're unique. He does his show. And information you get here from him and Zoe, you don't get in other spaces. So I like to think that we're one of the best networks that are available to our people, and we want to grow, and we want to reach more people. We certainly want to expand. We want to get our creative minds and creative juices going. and certainly using the channel to help our people. For instance, I'm part of something called Ball for a Purpose, where I'm, like I've talked about, trying to get back in shape, and me and a friend of mine are gathering brothers together to play. And just recently, we've had an unfortunate death through gang. I'm not gonna say gang violence, through nigga violence. And then a brother who was well known in the community died suddenly at 56. And so when we play ball, we put up money individually, we put it in a pot, and we give to those who need it based on the situation that occurred. And so that way, you're exercising, but it's all within the movement. I love circular movement stuff where I'm balling, and it's not like I'm not involved in the struggle. Oh, these niggas just playing basketball all the time. No, we put money together to go to a particular cause to a black person. You know, like I said, organizing, doing things like that is important. If we do sport and play, again, that could be an economic agent for us because the white man has made absolutely sure that we love it and we'll do anything to play. So you say, okay, put your money up. When you put your money up, don't worry about where it goes because you're just interested in the ball and putting it in the hoop. You want to take your black ball and put it in a white net. Okay, do that. This is what's going to cost you, but this is what we're going to do with the money and serve our people. They call them survival programs. Survival programs to survive the white supremacist onslaught that we face day in and day out, vis-a-vis lack of resources. They control the resources, they maldistribute them, they keep them for themselves. They live out in lands. I'm a share driver, so I go out to these places and I see houses and fucking mansions and all this stuff that our people never see, don't know exists. We're happy with our high-rise apartment. We're happy with our one-bedroom apartment that the hallway smell like urine, but it's ours. So long as the landlord who actually owns it doesn't throw us out. And as long as we can make our rent payments, we're good. Because we've been told to be meek and humble. Christian living. There was many brothers in the NAACP in the Black Power struggle, people who have said, and this is a sentiment that was raised regularly, that there was not enough action in the NAACP. They were moving too slow. And that what the Panther Party provided with weaponry and with community activism, real community activism in the ground and going toe to toe with the beast. See, during that time, the rallying cry was the pig, off the pig. The military arm of the white supremacist establishment was the police force, full of cracker ass crackers, vicious slave masters. And they wanted interactions. And they got weaponry. And they got y'all boy Richard Nixon, Law and Order. They started getting, that was around the time they got the Law and Order thing. Law and Order, Law and Order, Law and Order. And these devils that are presenting the law, breaking all the laws. I mean, just breaking all the laws that they created, doing whatever they want to do. All these motherfuckers talking about Law and Order, there was in the conspiracy to kill Kennedy. All the motherfuckers was in. Kill the Kennedys, kill all them bastards. But I want to say to the movie, because as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, I can go scene to scene. But really, it's a period piece. It's inspired by true events, and for the most part, these things occurred. And the political philosophy we can scrutinize. Certainly, he believed in the Panther Party believed in socialism, in reference to Mao Zedong, and they had a 6 weeks political education course based on the literature of Mao Zedong and his political perspective. And we agree with some others. We don't. War and politics. War is the basis of politics. Politics is war without bloodshed. War is with bloodshed. But poor people are going to fight a war for rich people. Rich people start the war, poor people go fight it and die off. Right? Global population control, genocide. Right? Start a war, a bunch of people get killed, they're no longer on the planet. Put them under the ground and make a boatload of money doing it. And he was giving people the game in the education. You couldn't join the party until after the 6 weeks training was done. And you got young man after young man after young man intimately involved in the education apparatus that they're the centerpiece of. The young black boys centerpiece of it. And that's whom they were teaching. Sisters were involved too. Shout out to the sisters. Y'all was involved too. But we're the military arm. There was a badass sister in that movie too. It was a badass sister in there. She ain't playing no games. Chairman Fred was on lockdown, in captivity. She took over the reins and held it down as best as she could. The devils was like, Panthers come out and we coming in. She opened that window with that big ass motherfucking shotgun and pointed it right at him. Come get this work. Come get this work. Ooh, that was a bad sister right there. And you get into the mating. Most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the white man didn't teach us about economics, he teaches us about mating. We already knew it. We created that, obviously. But once it was stripped from us, they said we're gonna keep these things away from them. So you got a strong sister like that, and you marry her to a Hampton character or the other brothers that were there who were badass as well, and they have a child because that's what Tupac came from. He came from a Panther household. He was in them Panther apartments because they usually lived 5 to 6 deep, you know, and children were around them, and they got that game, they got that work. So by the time they came of age, these are the things that they were expounding on, whether it be in their music or the culture and things like that. When you listen to Tupac, Tupac is one of the most informative rappers that ever was. You know, you can learn something from listening to him in his interviews. And even when he went on Arsenio afterwards, he said, I want to commend you, Arsenio, for bringing on Minister Farrakhan. Again, you know how y'all feel. You think of it like this. Part of the code is, I may not agree with such and such, but I'm not going to condemn him because you told me to. Okay? My issues with him is with him and his group alone and how he's handled things. Speaking as someone else. But if you ask me to condemn him, to use me against him, nah, I'm on code. Fuck you. And it's a perfect opportunity. Whenever we have an opportunity, white versus black, and it's clear cut, we have to take it. I don't give a fuck if it's a coon. We have to take it. Because the majority of our people think like the coon anyway. So you jump down that cracker's back in defense of him. Malcolm X said that. He had to, you know how James Farmer was all over Malcolm X all the goddamn time. Well, he had did an interview one time, and this cracker was letting James Farmer have it. Now he's supposed to be in line with the thinking of James Farmer, but he let him have it. And Malcolm like, well, shit, man. He said, damn, I had to defend the motherfucker. Shit, I had to defend him. Because that's how I'm operated. He did an interview one time, 4 hours. And this black dude was talking about how this black woman was incompetent and doing a job connected to him. There was something that an interview had to do, a story that had to be done, and she was doing it, and she was inept. And Malcolm was like, well, brother, you got to teach her. You know, you got to teach her how to do it the correct way. It's coming upon you to get her to that level. It was too big for her, but we ain't got but 1 or 2 Negroes there, and it was just the one Negro, right? So you want to have her keep her job. If you complain about her, she's definitely gonna lose her job. So you gotta give her game. And so he was saying all this shit about her, and he was like, Michael was like, well, I'm gonna defend the sister. I'm gonna defend our sister. And this old coon ass nigga and the devil was like, well, you gonna defend somebody you don't even know? Yes. She black? Yeah, I'm a defender. I'm gonna be her defense today. That's being on code. Being on code. Be on code. Whatever make the devil nervous, what he don't like, we have to exude that. Be on code. Nigga, I don't like your ass, but we up in this room here, and I'm gonna be on code. Now, I expect for your ass to be on code. If you fuck around here, I'm gonna put something on you. But we gonna be on code today, right here. We know what it is. It's 2 black, it's 1 white. Be on fucking code. With that devil will try, he'll look for it. He knows this coon chip is there. He'll look for a nigga to be on this side. Come on, guy. One of you guys, your coon chip isn't working? What the hell? I got the remote control right here. I'm hitting the button. Come on, what the hell? What's going on? I have to change the batteries. Hold on, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna have to change the batteries here for my coon chip. Give me a second. This won't take very long. Okay, all right, boom. Somebody gonna turn coon. Well, I agree with Mr. Stauffensberg that being late on a consistent basis is problematic with our corporation and does limit production overall. It makes the product look bad. Oh, here this nigga go. This nigga chip working. Here you go. All right. That cracker hit that chip, man. And we flipped. William O'Neill was a chip. Gene Roberts, a chip. Hell, I don't even know. Lil Rel was in the movie. Lil Rel was in the movie. And he was the agent that gave the sedative to William O'Neill. They put these blacks in these positions to take out other blacks. It's always been like Hard Answer deals with that in his books. With all the rebellions that were planned and thwarted, it was because blacks snitched. Meritorious manumissions. They was doing it so much, nigga, they was making up shit. Master, it's gonna be rebellion. Kill half the motherfucking slaves. Thank you, Samuel. You're free to go. He walk out, 15 motherfuckers done been killed because he made up some bullshit. They had to scale back on it because niggas was snitching so much. But anyway, go see the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. It's a great movie. Share the review. Support the network any way that you can. Support your brother any way that you can. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate y'all, checking the brother out and everything on the Saturday. This is gonna be my due time because I get the audience, I get to talk to the family. And let me go get my daughters before they burn down my house. All right, y'all be cool.